104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. I hope you got to see my video. So if you want to go, I'm sorry I didn't put it on the Cindy Cochran Show. I put it on Cindy Robinson Cochran, my Facebook page. And I was talking about we're going to be live every day. The Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we have guests, and these guests weren't afraid to come on at this time, and yeah, I gotta find people that don't work or that don't are retired or something, because you said they don't like to come on. This late's hard for people to come.
Well, 2 o'clock's kind of like past lunch, and it's also before you get off work, so you have to make special arrangements. Most people who do like a noon can justify like, oh, I'm gonna take a lunch and go on this show.
Well, I have to serve lunch to Bob
me.
and to Brianna and those people who come on. I feel so bad. I don't want them to miss lunch for it. But I could have like a fruit plate, or a
not
vegetable.
while we're during the show. That's so.
Well, I mean, they can
idea.
like nosh. Is that right? Nosh.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, Andrew will, and I bet he comes through and says what noshing is. I don't know why I've been thinking about Andrew has got to come on our show, Richard. Please.
Okay.
Richard's going to ask you, Andrew. You need to come on the show.
All right.
Okay. All right. So anyway, this has been maybe the worst week of my whole life.
Yeah, you haven't been sounding good on the phone.
No, I know every time Chad calls me, he goes, Mom, what's wrong? Nothing. Everything's okay, baby. Everything's fine. He goes, no, something's wrong. What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Just tell me. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. And he hangs up and he goes, he'll call me back. What's wrong with you? But I don't know what happened. Anyone out there that's listening to this that has ever had this, or they know people that had it, is eczema has just come back into my life. It's been gone for so long and dormant, and it's not shingles. It's something that has just exploded in me. And I have a video. I took it of myself because of how bad my face. I mean, you can still see it's still kind of red and stuff. But my face was so messed up, and my hands were so messed up. I was having to wear a carpal tunnel syndrome, one of these things that are like this.
Yeah.
I look like I was going to do a fight after work. But, and so because I couldn't touch anything, I couldn't sleep. It wake me up every 2 hours. It was hurting. It hurt so bad. And so I felt like I was going backwards. Like I was revisiting my youth with my horrible eczema that happened.
Yeah.
So that's what I was dealing with, and it just made me feel terrible. When people call me, I try and go like, "Hey, how are you doing?" But I couldn't. My sick voice would come in. Sam would go like, "I know when you're sick because you always whine like this. You talk like," and that's true. But anyway, but there's hope. here's where the hope is. Steroids. I hate to say that because I always think you might take steroids, only guys do that are in athlete, their athletics. And when that doctor gave me the first steroid shot, because they were experimenting with it, he said, now you may have a moon face, end up with a moon face. You may, you'll probably have a beard, but most women have beards, but you can probably have a beard. And so there's always, going into a circus show. I thought that was funny. It wasn't funny. And so, and I said, well, just tell me this then. Does this mean I'll never ask for directions? And he sat there for a while and he went, that's good. That's funny. Oh, that's what I'll tell people. It makes you so manly that you don't ask for directions anymore. Anyway, so that's
okay.
what.
So
that's
you're
what
doing steroids. You're working out.
No,
you're transitioning.
I'm not
to a male drug dealer this time. Okay.
See, doesn't Richard have the most charming way to transition to other? Say you've talked enough about that. I don't want to hear more about it.
Well, you were gone last week, so I was a little worried. And every time we spoke, it sounded like you were talking from the crypt.
Yes. That's exactly how I sound. But I'm anyway. So I went to my doctor yesterday. I have to say this. I went to my doctor yesterday, and I looked so bad, and she saw me, and she goes, "Oh, let me." And she starts typing. It's bad when they start typing. And you go like, what are you saying? What like somebody taking notes from what you say. Anyway, so I said, what I think I need is a steroid shot. And she said, oh, definitely, we'll get you a steroid shot, but I'm going to put you on steroid
I like
pills.
I like
and
this
everything.
place already. You get to tell them what to give you.
Well, I was so pitiful. I had that voice. I had everything. And she went, we got to get you out of pain, and because there was a point. Man, there's a point where I saw people,
Wait, there's a point to the story?
No, it's like shut up. It's just like people that are craving drugs, and they can't get their drugs and they start going like crazy.
Yeah, well, you're a drug dealer, so you know all about that.
No, it was the pain and the itching. Anybody that has eczema, you'll understand this so well. Do you ever have eczema? Did you ever tell me you always had eczema? No? Okay.
No,
so
the only thing I really have is like chlorine will cause a rash, and I'll itch for like 2 days, and then it'll go away. Unless I use a special
do you rinse
shampoo.
off after you get out of the pool?
Yeah, not like most of the time, no, but now I do because it's like, oh hey,
to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Are you going in after they shock the pool or something?
I think it's just chlorine.
Just
From
chlorine.
the way the dermatologist explained to me is it happens a lot with for some reason with guys as they get older, is you become more sensitive to it.
Well, I thought, is this because I'm old, and my skin is thinner than it was because I've been using steroids. I've been using topical steroids for so long, and that thins your skin. But thanks for getting me off the track. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that she gave me the shot, and on the way home, I started feeling like I'm not feeling the pain anymore. I'm going, this is so weird. And she warned me. She said, now you're going to feel like you could go move a mountain. You can't. You've got to let this work in itself.
That. You're going to think you can drive a car, but you can't. All right.
I knew that. So
that sounds like a fun drug.
Yeah, but I mean, it did. And so by the time I got home, the kids were saying, "What happened to you?" Because they could see the difference. It just works within, and they give you the shot in the hip, and I go, "Are you sure this is going to make it to my hands? Because could you just shoot my hands?" And she said, "No, it'll make it there. It'll be fine."
So now you're getting a steroid shot like what every day?
No, you can only have so many a year, and so.
So you already booked your next appointment, just in case.
With a different doctor. Yeah. No.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Can I be on standby? You're my speed dial. No, but
I don't see why you don't do that though.
No, but it was. Well, because it will, I mean, kill you if you take too much steroids. I mean, that's what was happening to football players and stuff, right? Because they were taking too much.
No, I think the football players are having problems hitting their heads against things. So I think that was their main problem.
Well, I understand the concussion part. Okay, there's baseball people like taking steroids to build up and stuff. But they use that. What kind of steroid do they use?
Probably like human growth hormones, HGH.
So it's not like what I've got.
No, there's different types of steroids.
Okay. All right. Well, good. That's good. Okay, I'll book that next appointment.
And I think like the only issues with HGH is if you take too much, and like depending on your body chemistry, it can have some really unbalanced effects on certain aspects. Like your heart might get enlarged because it's trying to keep up, and then like I know like your privates. I know a lot of privates are affected by it, especially males. And then
your privates.
Yeah, and then I know the heart's a big one, and I know the privates are a small one, if you know what I mean.
What does it mean? Like, I've got titanium that's got my chest cavity together.
They put a titanium plate.
It's not a plate. He said.
Okay, what's wrong? Okay, keep going.
It's tied together with that.
Understand.
Okay, all right. So, if your heart enlarges, what happens?
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It'll burst. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
I always thought when we went to the airport, we went to Orlando, I kept going through those things and going like, okay, I got to tell them I have titanium in my chest. And after the second person, they went, you don't have to tell everybody that. And I went, oh, okay. I'm all right. I thought you were supposed to let you know if I have, any kind of metal. Isn't titanium metal? But it's something that'll pass through one of those deals. I didn't have to take my socks off, my shoes off, because I was old. That's what they said. You're old.
I believe it.
Yeah, you're too old to have to do that. So I thank you very much. They wouldn't want me to take my shoes off anyway. It would have been really embarrassing. I only have one pair of shoes that I wear all the time. And I just got another pair from my daughter. She gave me a new pair of shoes. And I'm just feeling on top of the world. I just feel great.
Speaking of shoes, a crazy story. Not too long ago, I got an email from the federal government, the FTC, I think, Federal Trade Commission. And apparently I bought shoes from a company like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Called Hey Dudes. And they're cool shoes. I like Hey Dudes. But I bought these shoes 4 years ago, and it seemed during that time they were doing something illegal where it was something where it's like, I didn't fully understand. When they send you stuff, it's so weird because it's almost like a scam. And they're like, oh, hey, the shoes you bought from Hey Dude, we just finished a class action lawsuit against them, and they were found guilty of, misleading customers where orders weren't going out fast enough, and then what they would try to do is give you gift cards, but then they would still take your money, and they wouldn't refund your money, and then but they regarded the gift card as a return, and then people just wanted their shoe, some weird thing. Well, anyway, this is like, okay, and by the way, you're gonna get an email from PayPal for your $54.95 for the end of the class, because I was like, how do they even get my information? I thought this was fake immediately. And I look it up, and it's a real deal. And so I was like, how do they? I guess since I bought them online, they just had my email address.
So you got your money back?
I just got the payout because I still got the shoes. I was kind of weirded out by it because I didn't get affected by whatever they were doing wrong.
Oh.
But I got PayPal, and I was like, I'm not connecting this to my bank account. So I created a false PayPal account, a fake one that I would never use, and I sent the money to that, and the money was there. And I was like,
that's not illegal, huh?
No.
You can do fake accounts.
It's not fake. It's just I didn't want to tie it into it because I have my own PayPal account that is for the station, and it's tied to our bank. And then I have an individual PayPal account that's tied to my bank. And I know if you take over a PayPal account, you're going to get all the banking info. It's right there. So I was like, all right, I don't know if this is real. And it turned out to be real. And so it was funny. I just said, send me a check. Because they gave me that option after you had to use PayPal, though, to deposit. Like, you can't use any other service. You have to use PayPal. Because that's what made me think it was a scam.
Yeah, because they're being, mandating to you.
Yeah.
You are going to just love this.
So I thought that was really funny, and the government, I thought it was a scam, and it wasn't.
Well, you're lucky because you've got me so scam-ridden about
everything.
Telling me about what people do.
Yeah.
And Chad does, and Paul, our realtor, like, don't do anything. Don't do anything over the online unless somebody calls you. You need to have other people talk to them or call them back, say, I'll call you right back and stuff. Anyway, they were going through all the things you're supposed to do. So this guy calls me, and his accent is so thick. And he goes, now I'm not making fun of his accent because I'm not even doing it right. It's not right accent. And we probably sound worse when we talk like this to everybody. And so it's okay. But he was going, is this Cochran? Cochran? And I went,
that's a great,
are you...
I understood everything about that.
No, so I said, are you saying Cindy Cochran? And he said, yes. Yes. Are you heard? I said, who wants to know? And he said, this is Medicare. And your Medicare. I said, could you just talk slower? Your Medicare card is about to expire. And I went, what? Okay, I understood what you said, but what do you mean it's going to expire? And he says, yes, it's about to expire. You have to get your information. Okay, what is your number on your Medicare card? And I said, I'm not giving you my Medicare number. I thought, oh, y'all are going to be so proud of me. And he goes, I had to have it. I said, are you looking at my Medicare information right now? Well, you know my number. You tell me what it is, and I'll tell you if it's right or not. And he goes, what? Wait a minute. Let me call the supervisor. Calls the supervisor over, and the supervisor comes on, and he goes, ma'am, this is the supervisor. They all took the same. So I said, listen, I don't understand why you have to have this information. It should come through the mail, and I'll fill out a form or something.
Yeah.
No, we have to have your membership card number. We need that. And what is your birthday? He said you won't give him your birthday. I said, you should have my birthday on there. And I'm really getting upset now.
I would just hang up. Why are you worried? So you know what's funny is...
Well, but if it's Medicare, I don't want them spitting or tearing up my card if this is really true. So I'm trying to find out, how can I find out if this is true or not?
I would never... And that's, again, it's like you do a little research, and then the first thing you do is always look up the phone number. Because most of the time we'll tell you, oh, this is a robocall or this is a scam.
If what?
If you look up the phone number that's calling you.
Okay.
So you know on your phone there's a phone number.
Oh, there's a phone. Yes, right.
And you just type that in, and a lot of times it'll give you like the first hint of like, okay, this is weird.
Okay.
And then what's funny to me though, if I was like a T-Mobile or if I was like an AT&T or Verizon, I would figure out a way to sell to the customers like, hey, you want to be scam free or spam free and all this kind of stuff. It's like,
yeah, pay
this much money and then you don't ever have to deal with it. Because I get more spam calls than I get personal calls. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't even want a phone anymore.
I so agree. No, you better not do that because I have to call you.
I know, but it's like, just the way the phone operates in my life. I'm like, who cares who's calling? It's probably a spam call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care. And it's getting to the point where like it's like 75% of my incoming calls are spam calls. So I'm like, how do I get rid of this? So I was looking up, trying to find like a service or something where it's like, hey, remove my there's got to be there's always data breaches and all that. Like I think the other day they said all the Social Security numbers got breached. Did you read that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, everyone.
Yeah, millions.
No, I think everyone. I don't think it's just millions. I think like everyone.
They said the UK and in America like
everyone, and which is great. just because it's just people run into that stuff all the time, and somehow they get you, and it's sad, but it's just the way the world works. Because you bet my butt after I did that FTC thing, I was checking my bank account every like 3 hours, and I changed the passwords and everything. I was like, just because it sounded too good to be true. But then again, when you go to the government website, they had the ruling, they had the portal, you click the portal and all that kind of stuff. But again, my mind was like, this is totally a scam. This is a great scam.
Well, I of course get all those too, and I start saying, I text him. So I always forget, what was your brother's name? And I don't hear back from him again. And that's it. Or you ask them something about, I remember when you did this or that, and they they don't know how to respond. So it's funny. But so this guy he just kept on. He goes, I need to know your birthday. And I said, you've got my birthday. Tell me what my birthday is. He said, it's in November 1948. And I said, okay, well, you have my birthday then. You got my birthday, and you've given me the card number already, and so there's no reason for us to talk anymore. Just send me my new card. No, we have to have more information. And I said, what information do you need? What do you want? And he says, you haven't told me the day of your birthday. You just said, yes, it's November 1948, but what's the day? I said, what day do you have? And he's getting so frustrated with me. He goes, 6. And I said, okay, you got it. So y'all have all that information. That's perfect. Okay. All right, send me the new card. If I don't get a new card, I hope I put you in jail. And so the supervisor gets back on. I'm so sorry. This was an uncomfortable conversation with you. And I said, where are y'all calling me from? I know it's not Texas. And he said, no, it's from, he named some island. Well, he said, but we are a branch of the Medicare. We're a branch of the Medicare. And I went, okay, all right. Thanks a lot. Bye. And that was it. And I have checked my bank account. But they knew everything about me. They already had everything. It had to be
crazy.
real.
But again, like if Verizon somehow offered that, people would pay out the wazoo.
It would if they could block a call coming in that's not in your directory, because when you do Siri and I say call data, and she said it's not in your a call's coming in, it's not in your directory, and it stops. I don't get the call. That makes me mad, because if somebody's calling from that I need to talk to, but if they could block that, that would be awesome, and kill all that stuff. Oh, it's horrible. They just take so much advantage of you. Did you watch the Democratic convention?
No. Why would I?
I called my daughter and son-in-law. I said, okay, so listen, it's just about ready to start.
The DNC.
So
I still don't get those. Like, that has got to be the most boring party thing to go to. A 4-day hype party for your political party. That sounds so boring.
It was. But
same thing for the Republicans, too. Like,
no, the Republican convention was actually entertaining, because it was. They didn't have the speeches very long, and they made sure the speeches were under 5 minutes and all that stuff. Anybody that comes up there, and so it wasn't really bad. This was like you threw up in your mouth about 3 or 4 times the whole time watching it.
It's still going on though. You haven't seen the last day.
I've got it recorded, but no. So Biden was last night.
Yeah, he got the send off. He said, "See you later, guys, suckers."
And his wife got up to speak. I thought, boy, y'all are really brave to let her speak, because she was so mad at everybody for what they did to him. And she got up there and just praised Camilla and said,
"Yeah, well,
this
why
is
not?
the one. This is the one." I think, in a sense, I would think she'd be relieved. Yeah. But anyway, as soon as he finished talking, he went to California for a vacation.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he's getting off vacation.
that's what I mean. Did he know? Did he know he was really where he was? But he took whatever medication they gave him before he did the State of the Union. They gave it to him again before he came out there because he's just wild-eyed. And he's like, I'm telling you, this is what... And he just yelled. The whole thing was yelled. Yeah. And so... but
cool.
Everybody that was there in that stadium, not stadium, but place, the convention center, they were holding up "We Love You, Joe," and "Goodbye, Joe. Don't call us. We'll call you." And he kept saying, he says, I've got 6 months left or 5 months left.
I'm gonna do so much,
and we're gonna get this done because we just haven't finished everything we need to do yet. So let Camilla take over and do it. And Camilla's acting like, I'm going to make price, the gouging of the grocery stores. We're going to stop it because we're going to do, price control. Anyway, what that's called. Anyway, they want to control the prices of what the groceries are.
Yeah, I think that's the FTC too.
You think that's a good idea? No, it's not a good idea because it's been tried before. It always fails, and other countries have tried it, and it just about breaks them. And so it doesn't work. But she's acting like this is the first time she's thought about this, and she's been in there, 1,300 days she's been in that office, and it's the first time she decided, you know what, we've got to make the poor be able to afford their groceries and rent. We're going to make people be able to afford the rent. And we're going to build all these homes, and we're going to give the new home buyers $25,000. Each one of them will get $25,000. And so the things that she's proposing, though, it's like she hasn't really thought about it, or she's just taking somebody's word for it, because all the analysis of it from everybody, not just somebody that's a Republican, but analysis shows how it's not going to help. It's not going to help the inflation. It's not going to help. It's just going to make things worse.
I mean, think about that whole conversation right when Biden went in, they were talking about doing the loan forgiveness stuff for I feel like it was a year.
Oh yeah.
And it's just they pick a subject that they know that probably won't
pass the
House.
But
it's like, hey, we're going to talk about it.
Right. Yeah, it's like,
and that's what blew my mind about Roe versus Wade being reversed, because I feel like that came out of left field. Because they've been talking about overturning Roe versus Wade for, I'm talking about legally wise, not just protesting. I'm talking scholars and everything at universities. That's one of the things they would do a topic on ethics and do a case study of Roe versus Wade and how the Supreme Court really ruled. And there's a lot of cool history with it.
Right.
But then when they did it, I was like, why wasn't anyone talking about this? This feels like it was just kind of under the rug, or they slipped it under the door, and it's just we're just going to do it.
Well, it had to wait till the president had enough people in each house to get it passed.
I don't think it. No, that was just the Supreme Court.
No. I'm talking about to agree that
I know,
we're going to push this.
You'd think they would be talking about getting closer and closer to the Supreme Court. I feel like I missed it, especially with everyone's response, because everyone was shocked. This is insane. The Democrats were basically saying the Republicans are evil for doing this. I'm like, wouldn't you know this is going to happen to talk about it and promote? Hey, you need to be aware that this is going to happen. It could happen.
Well, it's the side effects.
I don't even think Trump even knew it was going to happen. He was just like, oh,
cool.
Okay.
Okay, I claim that one.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His response was like, "Oh, I can't believe it happened." That was kind of wild to me.
But what was brilliant, though, I think, banning it across the board and all that stuff.
They didn't ban anything. They just said whatever this, and then
but I mean, people. There's so many different sides of things they want to do. So what Trump does is we're going to send it all back to the states. The states are going to make the decision. They can vote on it. Each state will be different, maybe. It's going to be different. But it's going to be their responsibility, not the government's responsibility.
Yeah.
It's going to be the state. And so the people have their choice again. So what made all the women mad, though, was that they were living in a conservative state. They knew it wasn't going to.
Well, not even that. I think my favorite ones were, I think there's a few that the current law they had on it, because it hasn't really been touched. It was like from 1928 or something like that. That's
right.
It's like, oh, hey, let's go back to this thing for now.
And so, and Trump said, I believe if it's about the mother's death, or it could cause the mother's death, that there has to be some exceptions.
Isn't that kind of wild that you would have to vote on that kind of stuff? Like, imagine going to the ballot box and the language, because every time they choose language for these voting things, it's always the most convoluted, weird.
Brother, yeah, you're right.
So imagine it's talking about abortion, and it's trying to say, like, you'd be even more confused because the terminology they would use and all that stuff, and you're like, can we what? Like, and that's what people are going to be voting on every so often, depending on where you live. Because
but a lot of them, if they're educated enough to understand that after a certain week, like in
I'm
the
not talking about. That's what I'm saying, like the details of it.
No, but the details have to be in there because if they go.
So just saying, imagine you're 18 years old and you're going to vote for the first time.
Yes,
and it's just like, what is this saying? Like. Is this a yes or a no? Is it like there's like 19 options?
You're right.
And
that's right.
It's going to be great. And then
no, that's right.
Yeah, and then what's even like what's weird to me is no one took the position of like, hey, this encourages travel, so you can go visit other states.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so.
But no, like that was a joke.
But no, but they could move if they want to, or they could be, and people would pay for their bus ride to there. The ones that are, pro-choice, they'll pay for the bus ride to the other state that would actually perform it. But to me, the Democratic Convention has a free abortion and vasectomy truck.
I like it
out in there, so you can stop by and get your abortion.
What I'm curious is if a guy would go in there and be like, I need one.
It's a vasectomy. You can come get your vasectomy.
No, I need an abortion.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And see how they do it.
Do you know it? So you understand? I know that you understand that a woman believes that she's a guy.
I mean, whatever.
And so she wants to transition into a guy.
It could be whatever. Who cares?
But she doesn't remove any of the sexual organs.
I just like doctors having to deal with it because they're going to be like, well, we're here for political reasons because we have a bus in front of the D.C. But it's like,
but no, they have this big truck and they're having people come in.
Yeah, I like it.
If a woman is transitioned, but she still has her female organs and stuff, she can have the baby, but she has been deemed a guy. So they say, see, men can have babies.
Yeah, I like it.
And that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I guarantee you somewhere in the history of mankind, there's been, like, I forgot what they call them, but it's like when you're born with both organs, and then every case is different in that whatever they call it, some development. So, like, cause over time, one gender will take over, like, whatever hormones are in your body, or wherever chromosome is more, Y or X or whatever. So, like, you be born with both parts, but then as you grow, one part takes over. And, like, you still have both parts.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, if.
That's a real thing.
Okay, but the only.
So maybe, I mean, whatever, go for it.
The only way is if she has had a period every month.
What really startles me about this kind of stuff, that whole world, what worries me is we're setting up a thing where we have to explain ourselves to introduce ourselves.
You wouldn't? Would you? Is that how you would introduce yourself?
Well,
I'm really not.
Well, it's like
a man.
Because I was listening to a conference, and they like, my pronouns are this, but like everyone said it. So every time, like, oh, my name is Nick Jonas, and my pronouns are they, them, that, and I'm like, everyone was doing that.
What?
And I was like, do we really have to do that, like, up front? Because I can understand if someone asks me, and it's like, oh yeah, I can give you my pronouns, because that's normal, right? Like, you're asking a question, I'll give you an answer. But this is like information they were just up fronting.
Well, yeah, because
And then it's like, well, I'm saying that you can't just say, "Hey, my name is Nick," and like be done with that. You know what I'm talking about? But
I've never had somebody
But no, this
give
was,
me their pronoun.
But this was like some, it's a video. It's actually I forgot what it was called, but basically it was one of those conferences of that kind of thing. But it was the norm for everyone who came up to speak, to ask a question, or they would always unload who they were before they got to their question or got to their comment. Oh. And I was just like, man, I don't think I could handle that.
No,
like meeting new people, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like it's like it would become second nature.
Well, I was at my 55th or whatever reunion, a high school reunion, and this one girl that I hadn't seen in a long time, and she was looking pretty butch. She comes over and sits down and starts talking, and I say, "That is amazing." I remember her, and she says, "No, she's not her. You don't call her her."
I'm like, okay.
Like you don't call girls or women anything, but they are them.
Yeah, call him Nick or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I said that. I couldn't believe it. It was just so confusing. Like
it's not.
How can you live in that life?
It's not confusing. It's more of if the information is provided. It's like, do we want everything up front, or do we want to learn more? And that's what I was saying. That's my main concern with this kind of stuff is like every time you meet somebody, they have to give you that information before you even talk to them. And I'm like, well, why can't I just learn that from you?
Well, when you get married,
yeah,
or you're dating someone,
yeah, I've done those things.
It's probably you're dating someone, then you get married. But if you're dating someone, don't you think it's good to say, hi, my name is Mary, and I'm on my period? And you go like,
again,
I didn't need to know that, but
I'm saying. It's like,
now that
hey,
I know that,
it's weird.
I'll be nice, and I won't put you in a, where you want to argue or something, or whatever you want to do it. And so that kind of information to give someone, being very transparent. Mm-hmm. Don't you think that's too much, though, that you'd rather learn that after you got married?
Because I won't be able to remember half that stuff anyway.
Okay.
Well, that's just the truth. We have to keep track of all that stuff. It's like, no wonder people only have one or two friends, because there's too much stuff to keep track of.
Isn't that the truth?
So
it is. And Phyllis, I am so sorry that I haven't called you lately. Reminds me of this last month. I haven't talked hardly to anybody, and it's terrible.
That's because you don't. That's because you sleep in a crypt.
I have one of those beds that go like,
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You have one?
I don't have one. I know what you're talking about, though.
I just did it just a little because I'd never slept in one before.
Please tell me you got stuck. I could totally see you getting stuck. Be like, well, it's not doing what I want it to do.
Well, you lift the legs. It's supposed to be your legs come up above your heart, and it's supposed to be good for you.
That's what they all say.
So I pushed it, and it just went up a little bit, and I went, okay, I wonder how far it goes. And I'd already had the back of the bed up where, I'm almost sitting straight up. And so the legs start coming up, and I think, okay, that's enough. And so I took the remote and threw it, threw it across the bed where I couldn't reach it.
Yeah, I told you.
And so I was so glad there wasn't any video camera live streaming me trying to get out of that out of that bed. But Maddie sat there, and Maddie's my dog, and sat there and watched me, and kept, she tilted her head and like, what are you doing? And I felt so stupid, but I just had to crawl out of it backwards, get out of it to get with it wasn't fun. But they do go up really high. I mean, it's really dangerous because a kid could get caught in there and not be able to get out.
Beds are incredible, aren't they?
Yes. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's pitiful though if if you're by yourself, I sleep by
That's
myself.
why you have
in
the
bed.
life alert. That's why they have those.
A life alert.
Do you have one?
No, I'm waiting for them to have a diamond encrusted one.
It's gonna match your outfit.
Yeah, match my outfit.
Yeah.
Wait till the T-shirt I'm going to wear tomorrow. Just blew me away, and I saw it at Walmart. There was only one left. It was Rolling Stones, 1968 tour T-shirt.
You were there.
I wasn't there. I was on the radio listening to them, but I always liked the Rolling Stones until someone told me, you know what he's saying, that I
Can't
get a girl pregnant. Did you know that was what he was saying? They bury it under the.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Yeah, I can't get it. But there's a line in there that says, and I'm trying to get this girl pregnant.
Okay.
And
What's wrong with that?
I did. Well, because I was only like 16 years old, and I'm going like, I know he didn't say
Didn't
that.
Mick Jagger hook up with like a 14-year-old?
Like hook up with who? A what? What'd you say hooked up with?
Hold on, I'm looking it up. There's
Oh, okay.
somebody. Yeah. So Lori Maddox was a child model and a baby groupie of the 1970s. She had relationships with David Bowie, Jimmy Page, and Mick Jagger. And these all occurred while she was underage, while the musicians were in their 20s. Although her connection to Bowie and Jagger are disputed. I remember hearing about it.
Ah, very good. Well,
See, what I like is at the age of 13, Maddox began frequently visiting clubs on the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood.
but if you look at the lyrics,
But again,
Look at the
13 years
lyrics.
old, going around town in the 70s. What were y'all doing in the 70s?
it wasn't me. But if you look at the lyrics, then someone convinced me that he didn't say that. So it's okay to like him. Like it was okay to like the Stones because he didn't say pregnant. But it sounded like it. It's just like Blinded by the Light and what I thought they were saying. What it sounds like they're saying after that. So that was bad. Because a lot of times they bury stuff they don't want you to really, like the adults would understand. And so they bury it so that the kids would get it.
I mean, there's slang, and slang's
Yeah.
always misunderstood at one point in some
Yeah.
generation, and then, but it's also like you listen to the lyrics, and do you really obey the command of the lyric?
Well, some people might, but I'm talking about the slang. It's and how different words take on different meanings all the time. And I know when I said something wrong because the kids will go, "Oh, don't you ever say that again! Oh, don't you ever say that, Grandma! Don't let that ever come out of your mouth again." I went, "What's wrong with
You haven't listened to hardcore hip hop then?
really?" No.
Well, I think it's Soulja Boy came out with a song, and I think it's basically a sexual act, and everyone was singing it. Like, if you go anywhere.
Wait a minute. What was the name of it?
I forget. Like super.
Oh, the group.
The group
Soulja Boy.
Boy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there's a song called Soulja Boy.
But yeah, I remember when that song came out, I was like, it's really funny to me that people sing this song because it's like pretty degrading. It depends on who you are, but again, it's like really. So, but then again,
I want
whatever.
you. I want you to look up Blinded by the Light. That
Yeah.
song, and I want you to say out loud the.
douche word.
You already know
Yeah,
that was.
there you go. But yeah, who cares? It's
But that's not
music.
what this. That's
It's
not
music.
what it means.
Who cares?
That's not what it means. I mean,
Yeah, you just listen to naughty music. I can't believe.
what? But was that? It wasn't really mean. It wasn't saying that. That was the wrong word. I thought it's just the way they pronounced it. Right?
It's deuce, DEUCE.
Deuce. Yes, and they were very sloppy about the way they said it. So it just didn't make sense. I thought, wait now, lyrics usually make sense. They're telling a story, but I couldn't figure that one out at all. But because I was just so into music, so into what all the musicians were doing, what they had for breakfast, how much,
So you're a groupie.
I wasn't a groupie.
Oh, it sounded like you.
No, I mean, but I just like to read and find out all about what they were doing. And then I started when I started recording, it was during the time when all the musicians and everybody were very rebellious. They were all, they'd come in the studio and they would smoke weed and drink Robitussin. I remember walking in the first time I came into the studio that we signed with, and I walked in and I went, "Oh man, who is sick? This smells like a doctor's office. Why does it smell like a doctor's office?" And I go, "We'll tell you later." And that's because it was the Robitussin mixed with weed smell. It's just
Cool.
yeah. I walked out of there high every
Cindy
single
Cochran show drug days.
I really do believe that it did affect you. The secondhand.
It probably does.
Secondhand.
But then there's probably
smoke.
like 1,000 other things that affect you secondhand. Like living in downtown Houston probably fills your lungs with whatever.
I was in East End, Houston.
So
That's the rough side of town.
and like probably breathing in a dead skunk will do something to you.
True. That's true. It was a rough time, but you're not old enough to remember the East End side of, Houston. You don't. I mean, because you were always in the bougie part of everything, yeah. And so you wouldn't have known that. But it was a really rough side of town, and we lived on that side of town. Then I was born till I left, and.
Until you didn't. I like that. It's a great story. We used to live there until we didn't.
Until
Like, okay.
until I went. Well, no, until I got married, and then Sam took me over to the bougie side of town, Memorial. That's where he lived, and he said, "I just have to get you out of this side of town, this East End side of town." And I went, "What? This is where I grew up. This is, what are you talking about?" He said, "This is a really rough side of town." And I went, "What?" I guess when you grow up, and I don't think that we're poor. I didn't think we were poor, but it was a poor side of town, and so I just didn't know. I thought we had everything you needed.
You probably did. But, besides the rims on your car that people would steal.
I never had my.
That was really funny. Like, I remember when I moved into the Washington area, my one of my high school buddies lived down the road, and he bought this Land Rover. And I want to say, like, at least twice, his car was on the cinder blocks, because the area was like getting gentrified, I guess.
Oh.
But like they were still stealing rims, but it happened like twice. And I'm like, man, just maybe get ugly rims. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. With
Take
this.
them inside. People brought their rims inside and put them in the hallway.
I know, it's just funny. I mean, I felt really bad about it.
Oh.
But then again, it's just like, that's the way this area is. It's so exposed. It's easy to get in and out of, and there's no.
Yeah.
Like, that's why people live behind gates, unfortunately.
But when the gates open, 3 or 4 cars come in.
Yeah, but still, it's still a deterrent. Like, I was this guy installed those. I forgot what they're called, like road beams. You ever seen that at like certain parks? Where they have events, they lower especially here at Heritage Place, they actually have these little beams that you raise up during the day, and when they have an event, they'll unlock them and put them down. That way, cars can't come in.
Okay.
This guy installed it on his own because his cars were being broken into.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what is the beam gonna prevent? Like, are people running into it? Because that's the whole point of the beam is like it could stop like a car going, completely stop a car going over like 30.
Sure.
And then, but I was like, why would you go to that length to protect your cars? Like, that's insane to me that you live there still. And you're going to be installing the beams that you have to unlock by hand every single time you park at your own house.
Man,
at your own house.
Yeah.
That would drive me nuts.
Oh, that's it. Isn't
that pretty hardcore? Like, that's.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because where we moved. Oh man.
See the library ladies tomorrow.
Library ladies tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun because they have so many programs for the kids after school, and things that can help the kids with their education. So be sure and tune in tomorrow and see the library ladies. And we know that Chris Wootton is listening, watching faithfully. We thank you so much for your sponsorship. Thank you, Chris Wootton. The Wootton Financial Group. Call them if you're wondering about your retirement. Yes.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Health Center Southeast Texas is a federally qualified health center. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most major private insurances. For our self-pay patients, we have a sliding scale discount program available. Our health centers have qualified providers and staff striving every day to provide the best quality of care to our patients. Services offered are family medicine, behavioral health services, telepsychiatry, and pediatrics. We have 4 area locations. Look up the Health Center Southeast Texas online at hcset.com.
What can the Better Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Statistics show that 1 out of every 6 Texans struggles with food insecurity and hunger, and many people